One word. Cookies. 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 This cookbook is literally an entire cookbook full of cookie recipes, which if I could have a cookbook written for me, it would be this one. It hails from the 1990s, and I have literally just been reading it like it's a gosh darn novel this past week, and I have finally found a recipe that I want to make for a video. It is fantastic, and what I love about this cookbook is that each recipe has like a little description of who it was made for, when it was made, why the recipe was made. So the one we're making today is called Hazelnut Chocolate Cookies, which, side note, couldn't find hazelnuts, so it's gonna be walnut chocolate cookies. All right, this recipe comes from Barbara Bloch. Barbara Babs, as I'm gonna call her. She seems sassy. She's from White Plains, New York. Her description of this cookie is, no visit to camp was ever complete without a big box of these cookies for my children and their bunkmates, and an extra box for the counselors. The cookies were always at the top of a long list of please bring. So she's already sold me. I'm down. I'm in it. This recipe calls for molasses. I am not gonna use molasses because I'm not a huge fan of molasses, and also I couldn't find it. Shocker. I'm gonna use honey instead, but you can also use corn syrup if you also can't find molasses. And then, as I said, I'm not gonna use hazelnut. I'm going to use walnuts. And then, because hazelnut, we always kind of pair it with coffee, I'm going to use a little bit of espresso powder. So I feel like that'll help with bringing that hazelnut flavor in. So let's get started. Something that I forgot to mention is a reason I chose this recipe is it is in the section of cookies that travel well. So I don't know where these cookies are traveling, but I wish I could go with them because you can't go anywhere right now, or you shouldn't go anywhere. But cookies that travel well, you can send them to loved ones because you can't really see them right now during the corona. So you can send any of these cookies to your loved ones and they won't be a tub of dust or goo when they receive them. Also, I don't know if you can see you see it? My bestest friend Mason got me a couple, oh yeah, let me untie that. Got me a couple aprons. This is my favorite thus far. He's got me 3. And it says chop it like it's hot. Because you gotta do that in the kitchen, because the kitchen is hot these days, so. Alright. We're gonna get started by putting our softened butter into our mixer, along with our brown sugar. Next comes the egg. Make sure that egg is at room temperature. We're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of honey. This is replacing the molasses that's in the original recipe. It's also a good replacement for corn syrup. I got this honey at Britt's Farm and it's very good. This is what your dough should look like thus far. You just want to keep mixing it until all those buttered chunks are gone. Here we're adding just 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now slowly add in your 2 cups of flour. You can sift this flour, but ain't nobody got time for that. Now that our dough is fully formed, you can go ahead and toss in as many walnuts as you would like, or whatever kind of nuts you're using. Whatever, nuts. I'm just gonna chop this chocolate bar into little bite-sized pieces. You can also use chocolate chips, but the chunks are just better. Go ahead and use that butter wrapping to grease your cookie sheet. I'm just using an ice cream scooper. I'm just going to scoop those cookies onto the cookie sheet and space them about 2 inches apart. I really like a salty chocolate chip cookie, so I'm just adding a little bit of kosher salt to the top of each cookie. And then just pop them in the oven at 375 for about 9 minutes. Voila! Name a better pair than hot cookies and cold ice cream. I'll wait. Alright, it's my favorite part. These look good. They didn't spread out quite as much as I thought they would. But again, they're supposed to travel well, so who wants like a flaky cookie? You want a rock solid lump of cookie like this one, so. Barbara! Why you gonna do me like that? This is such a good cookie. It's like a really good chocolate chip cookie, but elevated. That is so good. Oh my goodness. Yes, ma'am. Good job, Babs. Done.